Hey, what's up guys? The trailer for the new set for TCG Pocket just dropped today and it is sick. The set's called Spacetime Smackdown and it's coming out on January 29th. Trailer is awesome, so you should definitely check it out. But today we're going to cover each of the cards that were shown in the trailer as well as some extra goodies, starting off with Dialga EX. Dialga EX is a 150 health along with Palkia, and it is a metal type. So metal types finally got their support. Considering in Mythical Island they got straight up nothing, right? It's got 2 attacks. The first attack is a 2-cost Metallic Turbo for 30 damage, and it takes 2 metal energy. And it's pretty important that it's specifically 2 metals, so decks that try to mix them, it's going to be pretty hard to get off this turbocharge. Now what it does is that it deals 30 damage, but also you're going to attach 2 metal energy to one of your bench Pokemon. You got to select one, unlike Moltres, because Moltres you're going to flip coins, and then you can select to split the energy across as many Pokemon as you want, but for this one you have to select specifically one Pokemon. Now the thing is that it is 2 metal energy, but it can be attached to any bench Pokemon, not just metal Pokemon, unless they change that in the future. And so that makes for some really interesting combos, right? First and foremost, right, this is great metal type support for stuff like Melmetal is going to be really strong, or a really good combo with Dialga, considering that's only a 1-stage evolution, and you can just evolve that on the bench. Considering it's only a 1-stage evolution, you don't have to worry about using the Melton ability attack amass anymore. You can just plop down Melton on your bench, evolve into Melmetal, play the 2 energy for Dialga's Metallic Turbo, and then swap in if you need to. Dialga having the 2-cost retreat, you can simply just play Metallic Turbo and then swap back into Melmetal. And Melmetal will be dishing out a ton of damage. I'm also going to assume that they're going to be adding more metal Pokemon to the set. You know, it is Sinnoh themed, but as they did with like Genetic Apex, right? Mythical Island, there are tons of Pokemon that aren't from Sinnoh specifically. We can definitely expect more Steel Pokemon to be added. Yeah, Melmetal is going to be really good. it was really not good before, but now we can make... Now we're having to make a deck list for Melmetal, right? And I actually want to talk a little bit more about this attack because of that clause, right? Where it doesn't say metal bench Pokemon. So it can be attached to any Pokemon. And that means like any Pokemon that use colorless moves or use colorless energy, you can use this on. I think the biggest case of this is Mew EX, because the genetic hacking only takes 3 energy, right? And that is still going to be super good, as you can see from the Pokemon revealing today. That I think is still going to be a staple in every deck, unless they add more OP stuff that is better than that, because, you know, it's a basic, it's still such a pretty good tank at 130 health, and that genetic hacking ability just wipes the floor with so many different Pokemon. So you can just use Metallic Turbo to attach 2 energy to the Mew EX and it'll work, because Mew EX is 3-cost attack is colorless, so... But yeah, as you were saying in the comments as well, Pidgeot EX, Pidgeot non-EX are also going to be good. Playing both is going to be pretty good with Dialga. Like, you just place 2 energy on Dialga, and then you can even stack up to 4, because Pidgeot only needs 3, right, for its main attack. So you can stack all the way up to Heavy Impact and then attack, and then have Dialga die or swap it in for the Pidgeot, and I think that's going to be a good combo. And obviously we're expecting more cards to be added, right? More colorless cards, more metal cards. So I think they're going to have to like see and balance all the colorless cards that come out based on this card. So we can talk about the 4-cost energy Heavy Impact. Now, 4 costs for 100 damage isn't too much compared to like stuff like Charizard and Mewtwo, right? But there is no energy discard. The reason why I think it's kind of low is because you can, like, playing 2 Dialga EX would be really powerful, right? If it was just, if it was more than 100, like, you could just play 2 Dialga EX, have them charge up each other, and swap them out with a Leaf. So I think it's fair. Yeah, Melmetal is gonna be really good, because the thing is, like, Melmetal is only a stage 1, so, like, stage 1, you're packing that much damage, and the resist is gonna be pretty good. It's definitely gonna have use cases where you just attach to your second Dialga with the Metallic Turbo, or you can just build on this guy and sit on him if your other stuff, like the Pidgeot, only takes 3 energy. Adding this card when Mew in the game, when the Mew EX is in the game is kind of nuts. Like, it's gonna be really strong. Well, we'll have to see. Card itself is not good. I think it's really good. The energy generation is really strong. Giratina is probably gonna come out like in a mini set like Mythical Island. Probably Giratina Arceus. Set is called Spacetime Smackdown, comes out next week. You can even attach it to Celebi, because Celebi only takes 1 grass and the rest is colorless. And then it says any energy. But then you have the chance that you get 2 metals in a row for Dialga. So that's just a meme deck, I think. Because like the jungle totem won't work either, right? It's only for grass. Alright, Palkia. So Palkia is also 150 health, same as Dialga, and it'll come out in a separate pack. So there's going to be 2 packs to pull from. Thankfully not 3 like last time. 150 health, basic, Palkia EX, and same with every EX, right? Once knocked out, they get 2 points out of 3. Also weak to electric. Dialga is weak to fire. Makes sense. So the key thing here with literally any water that gets announced, right, is Misty. Misty exists. I don't know if they're gonna change this rule. I don't think they are. But basically, if you draw this thing on turn 1 and then you flip a Misty and if you flip heads, right, you're gonna get water energy, because if you go first, you're not usually able to attach water energy, but you can still attack. So if you flip 1 heads on Misty, right, you're getting access to Slash on turn 1. If you flip 4 heads on Misty on turn 1, you're getting access to 150 damage plus 20, plus a nuke of 20 to everyone on the back line. 1/16. So what, 6%? 150 damage nuke. Articuno is 80 for 3 energy. So keep that in mind. But it does discard 3. So Gyarados, right? 180 health. 140 damage and discards 1 energy, but Palkia does 150 for a basic, so that's a comparison there. I think Palkia will be decent. I think Gyarados will still be probably on top for water decks. Army's still really good too. Like, I think a lot of the water decks are really good. The Lumineon Greninja deck we played was good. Misty is still gonna be super strong. I think the important part is the 30 damage slash. We don't really have any access to high damage 1 energy waters, and a 50% chance with every Misty, right, to deal 30 right off the bat is super strong for water. The Dimensional Storm, I mean, discarding 3 energy for 150 damage, 20 on the bench, super strong. Is it going to be better than Gyarados? I don't think so. I mean, Gyarados 180 health, 140 damage, hard to beat. It does one-shot Mewtwo though, without a Giovanni. And the 20 damage nuke to the bench is pretty relevant. I mean, you pair this with Greninja, right? That's 20 damage on the bench every turn with the ability. You pair this with Greninja, you're wiping stuff on the bench. So I think it's going to be a pretty good card. I think this Dialga is ridiculous. With Mew EX, I think this is going to be top deck, but solid card. Both have 2 retreat costs, so a leap will do it. So Lucario, this is a gorgeous full art, by the way, but Stage 1 evolution, evolving from Railu. Retreat cost of 2, weakness to Psychic, and 100 health. So it is pretty squishy. You don't need to play him in the active anyway, right? You're playing it for the ability. Fighting Coach, which makes it so that attacks used by your fighting Pokemon deal 20 damage to your opponent's active. So this, I think, is super strong. And another thing to consider is that this doesn't have a unique clause, right? A lot of stuff in the game doesn't have the unique clause either. If you watched the stream earlier, we played 2 Butterfrees, which let us heal like 20 plus 20 per turn. The 2 Greninjas lets you deal 20 plus 20 per turn. Those are all not unique abilities. Some of them are unique. Superior, the Jungle Totem, is unique, so you won't have like X4 energy, right? But this one isn't unique. So if you have 2 Lucarios on your bench, you're dealing 40 damage bonus to each fighting Pokemon, which is crazy. So I think this is going to be really good for fighting decks. I think fighting decks are already really good right now. Also, one more thing to note is that it does say against the active Pokemon, so it's not going to work for your Hitmonlee against the bench. We're going to pull up some fighting cards here, right? This is the golem that people use. There is the self-destruct golem, but no one really uses that because this guard press plus the damage reduction is pretty good. So we're upping 120 to 140. Think about the benchmarks, right? 120 already one-shots Pikachu, but 140 is going to take care of Zapdos. The big benchmark is 150 because that covers Mewtwo, that covers Dialga, Palkia. If you have a Giovanni plus Lucario or 2 Lucarios on the bench, then you're going to be able to one-shot those. Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl deals 80 for 2 energy. Really strong tempo deck. Going to push to 100. 1 Lucario on the bench and 120 with 2. Against electric Pokemon, it's going to deal 120, right? Because of the plus 20 effectiveness. So it's going to one-shot Pikachu EX, which is really good. 100 damage is good enough to wipe out like every basic, unless it's like Kangaskhan or stuff. Most basics, most stage 1s. Mario itself will get wiped by this. 100 damage pushing with fighting is super good. Other fighting cards, Marshadow. 40 damage goes up to 100 if the opponent gets knocked out. That goes up to 120 with Lucario. Also super good. 120 deals 140 against electrics. 120 is a good breakpoint to be at. 130 with Giovanni. A lot changes if you use Giovanni, right, with these cards. 2 Lucarios can one-shot Scolipede. Yep. 2 Lucario is going to be really strong. This Primate is going to deal 100 damage. If it has any damage on it, it'll go up to 120. Super good. Little Bromachamp, actually not bad. 100 damage up to 120. EX is going to be pretty good. 120 up to 140 with 180 health. It's going to be pretty good. Is it going to beat everything else in the meta? I don't know. Still thinking this Dialga Mew thing is so OP. We'll have to see what gets added, right? They could add a ton of stuff. We're only seeing like 10 of 130 cards today. 2 energy, 120 damage, goes to the 140 with Lucario. And then a Giovanni will one-shot most things at 150. This Golem, Old Golem, 150 as well. 170 with Lucario. Marowak EX, it won't multiply based off like the heads you hit. It'll always add a base of 20. So if you get 0 heads, you'll deal 20. 1 heads, 100, and 2 heads, you'll get 180 damage, which one-shots everything in the game, actually, I'm pretty sure. Unless they have like damage modifiers like blue. I don't think anything is 190. Maybe Venusaur. Maybe Venusaur. Yeah, up to 180 damage for 2 energy. pretty good. Hitmonlee doesn't get affected by 20, so important to note that because the Lucario says only against active Pokemon. This thing is interesting because this says kill this Pokemon the same amount of damage you did to your opponent's active Pokemon. This actually scales with the Lucario. Not only the damage, but also the healing. If you have Lucario, you're gonna be healing for 70 damage. Is it gonna be meta relevant? Stage 2? And I don't know. Stage 2 from Fossil is really hard because it doesn't get, you can't pull the Fossil from Pokeball, right? But it's gonna be really interesting. 140 damage, you're healing 70 damage or 90 damage per turn, plus any other modifiers you add on. I don't think it's gonna be good enough to be meta, but it'll be a fun deck. Grab Locked, I've never fought against this in like a real deck. Of course, without the active, it's solid. It has a lot of health for stage 1. Yeah, let's go back to talking about the new cards. Lucario, 2 energy, 40 damage. Not much at all compared to all the other fightings. This is gonna be like a last resort move. The big thing is you're just gonna bench this guy and have him buff 20 damage. Lucario being a Sportmon instead of frontline doesn't feel right to me. I mean, in the Smash, you know? They're probably gonna make a Lucario EX. I don't think it'll be in this set eventually. Maybe they'll make one in the expansion when it comes out. Because there's definitely gonna be an expansion with Arceus and Giratina. I do really like this art though. Next card. So these are just talking about, they revealed the 3 starters. So Turtwig, you got Chimchar, and Piplup. We don't know anything about the final stages, but we did know that Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur are all out in EX, so we can assume the same will happen. Turtwig, 80 health. 80 health is a lot for a basic. All the grass Pokemon are really tanky. 2 damage bite, whatever. 30 damage. 2 retreat cost, just like the other grass starters. I was playing a lot of grass earlier today, so finally got to know how Bulbasaur is. Very similar to Turtwig here. Chimchar, 20 damage scratch. Unlike Charizard or Charmander, right? Charmander has the 30 damage Ember that discards 1 energy. I mean, 20 damage Fire Beat, not bad for 1 energy. Not bad at all. Turtwig, weak to fire, just water, electric, of course. 1 retreat cost, 60 health. Really standard stuff. Yeah, what is going on? What? I broke my audio system. Let's keep going. Piplup, 1 energy cost for a nap, which will heal 20 damage from the Pokemon. I don't think anything's gonna deal 60 damage to you on turn 1 unless they roll really hard on Misty, or if there's like a tool or tool plus Giovanni that'll do it. Like, we have no idea what they'll add, right? Usually you don't get one shot on turn 1 from 60 health. Yeah, if you take chip damage to plus 20, that 20 damage lasts the whole game, right? Even if you evolve to Empoleon. So that's not a bad ability, you know? There are situations where that's gonna be better than poking 20 damage. All right, next up, so Pachirisu got revealed. I don't think you're able to see its HP in the trailer. Its move is 2 energy for 40 damage, Sparking Gadget. The importance of this to us right now is that it reads, if this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool attached, this attack does 40 more damage. So that reveals that Pokemon tools are being added to the game. In the physical TCG, what that does is like they're like equip cards from Yu-Gi-Oh! They're also just like items from the Pokemon game, right? You can attach 1 at a time to the Pokemon. You can only attach 1 at a time, but also you only have 20 cards in the deck, right? So you're pretty limited anyways. And then if you attach the tool, then Pachirisu will deal 40 more damage at 80 damage. We have no idea what tools they're going to add. We have no idea what they're going to do. They didn't reveal any yet, but we do know that they do exist. So we can't really power scale this card unless we know what tools they're adding. If they're good, if they're bad, if they're kind of so-so. But Electric deck, you know, the Pikachu deck has so many different things you can play right now. The Mythical Island Electabuzz for the Thunder Spear, the Zeb Striker for the other Thunder Spear, the Voltorb Surge with Voltorb plus Raichu. Like, there's so many options currently for Electric. And of course, Zapdos is still really good, right? So adding another toolkit for Electric, it's gonna be fun. Dialga plus Melmetal, yeah, I think it's gonna be one of the better decks. All right, next up, Cynthia. Beautiful full art. That's all I'm gonna say about the beauty of this card. Cynthia reads, during this turn, attacks used by your Garchomp or Togekiss do 50 damage to your opponent's Pokemon. I think the way Pokemon does it is that this means that there won't be a Garchomp, or like this won't apply to a Garchomp or Togekiss EX. I think that's what this means, because I think I would have to explicitly say Garchomp EX or Togekiss EX. That might mean there's not one, but like there's no Dragonite EX either, right? But yeah, for this card, we're gonna have to find out what Garchomp and Togekiss do, but that does confirm 2 different stage 2 evos for dragon types, and that's going to be really interesting, right? Because so far our dragon types are Dragonite, which is another stage 2 evo deck, and then Druddigon is a basic. Having Cynthia play around all these dragon types that are 2 evolution is going to be really interesting. You know, we might see stuff like, I'm actually really interested, like we might see stuff like Rare Candy from the actual TCG come in, where you're going to get draw power for the next stage evos, because they added Dialga, Palkia, Lucario, right? These cards all heavily punish stage 2 decks, right? These are all more faster tempo decks. Even like Melmetal, right, is only stage 1. So I'm wondering if they're gonna add a card like Rare Candy that'll boost the stage 2 decks, because I can't imagine like they'll make a card like this for a deck that just is so bad. Like I think like the worst example was, or the best example of that would be like Brock, but even Golem ended up being really good in Mythical Island. So Great Ball, yeah, I'm thinking about that too. Garchomp, I know it's gonna look really good. That's all I know. Hopefully it's good. Always a good card. I feel like all the gym leaders ended up being good in some deck. At least very playable. Like Dragonite is playable, but not good, right? But I feel like every other deck has been good at some point. All right, next card. Next card. We got 2 cards here. Of course, we already knew that Gible was coming because they revealed Garchomp on the Cynthia card. We see it has 60 with Gnaw, 1 cost. Like no weakness as well. Can't really comment on this right now. Cresselia is a basic psychic and it has 110 health. So that's also interesting. That's the psychic support we have so far. 2 energy for 50 damage and it heals itself by 20. Similar to like stuff like from the grass archetype. 110 health for like a tank that heals itself. Not bad. Not bad at all. But where do you have Mew EX, right? I think Mew EX is such a strong tank already with the utility it has. 2 damage, 50 health, heal 20 is good. Pretty good. Especially for a 110 and when you have access to Gardevoir, which lets you proc that immediately. If you're in like a last ditch effort, I can see you playing this card as well. The thing with Psychic right now is that Mewtwo is just so far and above every other Psychic variation, and Mewtwo's already struggling with X slots because Mythical Slab is so good, Mew EX is good, the entire Gardevoir set is good, so I don't really imagine adding this to the Mewtwo deck, but other Psychic decks, yeah, maybe. Yeah, Alakazam, yeah, exactly. Alakazam like needs the tank. If Tool's already being added, then we'll probably see Stadiums or Special Energies. Yeah, eventually we will. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Stadiums already. I also wouldn't be shocked if we didn't see Stadiums because like I feel like they'd have to build like a new slot for it in the UI. So maybe they're waiting a little bit for that. It is interesting also, like since this it's such a shorter game, you draw 5 cards instead of 7, how Stadiums would work if they'd like nerf them or make them stronger. We'll have to see when it comes out. Next up we got Leafeon. EV evolution, 20 damage for 90, 2 energy for 90, which is a lot, but the catch is that during your next turn the Pokemon cannot attack. I'm pretty sure that's what it says, right? I wonder if it says cannot retreat. There's no way, right? Let me get a better frame. I can't tell. I'm gonna assume it says can attack because like 290 can't retreat is so OP. It's a cool card. I don't think it'll be very viable. Evolutions, Vaporeon's good. Vaporeon's solid, but I feel like there's so many better cards you could be playing. Honchkrow. So Honchkrow is a dark type, more dark support, 100 health. And what it does is skill dive. So I think this costs, we don't see the energy cost for this in the video. It's either 1 or 2. I'm assuming it's not 1. That's probably OP. Probably 2, just like Lumineon is. But what it does is it deals 50 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So just like Lumineon, just like the other guy that also deals 50? No, I think just like Lumineon, right? Him only deals 30. I think this is a really good addition to the Darkness decks because I think like the best engine for Dark right now is Weezing, right? Before it was Weezing Arbok, now it's Weezing Scolipede. That's the strongest. Like Nidoking exists, but I don't think it's gonna be that good, right? Kingdra, yeah, it'll be cool to see what we get. And like Darkrai, right? Darkrai is probably coming out. It's a binder, so it's probably coming out as a card. Anyway, 50 damage to a bench Pokemon is really good because a lot of times they're going to be retreating from a Weezing to get rid of the poison. And so that chip damage from Weezing, right? It's usually 30 damage from the attack plus a tick of poison, so 40. And if you're playing it Psychic, that's 60 because of the weakness, right? Adding on another 50 damage on that is going to be really, really strong for Weezing. Is it going to be better than Scolipede? I don't know. I think Scolpide's pretty good right now, and especially if they add stuff like Rare Candy or Great Ball. If we can search out the second Evos faster, then Scolpide's probably still better, but this is really good utility to add to Dark decks. Next reveal, I think that's it for the cards that we know of. This is a really cool background for the binder. It's got Darkrai, it's got Dialga, and it's got Palkia. Cool stuff. And it seems like the theming for this set is all around Darkrai, Dialga, Palkia. So I'm gonna assume that we're gonna get a Mythical Island type expansion with Arceus and Giratina. Yeah, it looks really nice. And then you can see the cards they revealed on the bottom. Finally, this is the trading stuff that they revealed at the end of the video. So there's two new currencies, okay? 2 new currencies. One is a flat currency, so some people were thinking like you just save up shine dusts and they'll use shine dust for trading. No, not the case. You're gonna have to grind it out through missions or something. And then there's a time gated currency, which I assume is gonna be like the hourglasses, 12 hours for each. It's gonna scale based on the rarity of the card. This is to stop people from like botting accounts, stuff like that. Kinda sucks because, you know, it is a trading card game in the title of the game. And in real life, you just trade whatever you want. So, but it is what it is. They did the same thing in Pokemon Go. Because, I mean, there are so many people that bought in that game. But trading is confirmed to come out on Tuesday, the 28th. But more trading UI. Looks like you can only trade the same rarity at the same time. And then the rules, I covered in TikTok earlier, but you can only trade up to 1-star rarity. So the basic full arts, not the EX full arts. Darkrai card art, yeah. I imagine they'll probably do a Darkrai EX as well. That'll be sick. But yeah, that's a wrap for the everything we saw in the trailer. We see we got 2 new packs. Space Time Smackdown. Space Time Smackdown. We got Dialga. We got Palkia. And it has, this article says, and they released a Pokemon published their own article. This article is from PokeBeach. Check them out. Thanks everyone for watching on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you're from. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Thanks for watching the YouTube video if you're watching there. I'll be covering everything in this new set as well as decks from the previous set until the set launches, which is going to be on the 29th. Lunar New Year, going to be a wonderful Wednesday. And then trading is also going to come out the day before that. So we'll have coverage on that on the TikTok, the shorts, the reels, as well as more videos on the YouTube to come. And then once this set comes out, I'm going to be grinding this game super hard. I'm going to be grinding content, going to be making deck lists here and there. Definitely starting off with Dialga, I think. As soon as I pull this stuff, I'm gonna be playing it and making deck lists on it because super excited to see. I mean, today we saw what, like 10 cards, and there's still 130 that they said they're gonna release. Super excited to see what we're gonna get our hands on next week. And until then, see y'all next time. After the YouTube thing, come on.